Next is, of course, that listing specialist, right? The yang to any business agent's yin is going to be a listing specialist that does exactly what their title says. They specialize in listing properties, not just for themselves, but for the entire team. In many cases, especially with newer or smaller teams, the team leader is typically your listing agent. They are the person that's bringing representation out on the street. Reason there's a sign hanging in a yard on a yard arm out there is typically because your team lead brought a new listing to the table. But if you're running that team leader model, keeping your showing agents busy is going to be huge when the market runs slow. So you want to make absolutely sure that by adding a listing agent to your team is going to keep people on their toes and is going to allow consistent growth. So if they're not able to go out there and show other listings, they can definitely show yours. What do you want in a listing specialist? When you're recruiting a listing specialist, make sure to find somebody who has a lot of market knowledge. They have the experience in selling properties in the community you're in. One of the primary roles of a listing specialist to perform is going to be the CMA. You want to talk about the perfect interviewing tool? They need to not only come prepared with the CMA that you gave them in advance and review it and present it to you, but they need to be able to do a couple of quick CMAs on the fly in front of you, and you see how they're utilizing the tools without ever seeing the property. That's their baseline for how they're going to quickly turn and convert a client in a listing conversation into a client under contract. This person's got to be a closer as well. They're going to have a lot of listing appointments. They're going to perform final steps, constant lead nurturing, open houses, the things that are going to bring additional prospects. They're going to bring new leads to the table. The more open houses they can perform, the new fresh bucket of leads you're going to bring to the rest of the team for the team to be able to hustle against. Make sure anybody that you're going to put in the listing agent's position is going to consistently get a name on a dotted line. If they can't convert, this is not the role for them. Marketing specialist. Now you're talking into spending some money because you need to not only run social media, but branded marketing, co-branded marketing, be able to do video blogging, be able to do the latest and greatest software trend that's going on in the market. And above all of that, simple email communications. Your marketing specialist is going to need the experience that's required to get all of your real estate business to the table. They need to be able to build a solid marketing strategy, and they're going to have to change that strategy a lot. Seasonally, market changes, all of these things they're going to have to understand. Marketing specialist is in charge of your vision. They're going to help you design and execute strategies for the entire real estate team. The work that they're going to do is going to have branding, it's going to be lead generating, it's going to have referral generation, and property marketing. This role is incredibly important. Whoever you deem your marketing specialist needs to be able to create messages that your community consumes about you and your team, right down to the way that you do business. So with that, there's obviously some things that you're going to need to take a quick look at when you're deciding to interview these folks. Your ideal marketing specialist is going to have qualifications that allows them to track success on a broad range of marketing fields. Social media management is going to be key to their success. Email marketing, graphics and layout design, paid lead generation. Even when leads are coming in, they're going to need to know the lead program that is bringing things into the funnel and how they should be marketing to those leads and how quickly those leads need to be converting. Content marketing and strategy and execution, website design and changes, and search engine optimization. SEO is critical. If they're going to be doing things, especially on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc., they're going to need to know how to do all of this work. The bad news is your perfect candidate is incredibly expensive. They know their value, they know what they need to bring to the table, and the amount of content that they're going to bring with the training, expertise, and the knowledge they have will never come cheap. So no, you've got to have a consistent real estate bucket of money constantly flowing in for you to be able to bring in a person like this. Will they pay for themselves? Absolutely, but not if you don't have a vision in place for them to be able to execute against. The good news is These people are typically very hungry and incredibly creative when it comes to their marketing. So they can help you with your expansion needs, and with their expertise, you can probably meet some of your team's immediate needs simply by getting some good branded materials out there. They're going to help you grow as your strategy expands. Should your marketing agent be licensed? Ideally, perfect world, sure. In any industry, I like to see some industry knowledge. Sure, absolutely. Lots of things transfer from one industry to another. I brought an insane amount of technology background into real estate, which is what's helped me make it successful and what's helped me manage and make Keystone very successful. What I wanted to make sure to do, however, was leverage licensing practices and things that I do as I consistently elevate my education, my accreditations and certifications. I was able to take all of that knowledge and bring that back to my clients and ultimately to you, my audience here at YouTube. Non-licensed persons can certainly bring all of the prep and the media and all of that multimedia experience, but a licensed agent or someone that's got the background is going to have to approve and execute all of the messages, especially when it comes to going out, showing houses, and executing against how a house should be represented. You're going to have to teach them that because whatever marketing industry that they were in before may not have that background. You get really good. You really get to a point where you can expand your team. I certainly recommend an inside sales agent. That is someone whose primary responsibility is going to be to create new leads with outbound communication. They are your cold callers. They are your people that are going to work the top of the funnel, no matter where your leads are coming from. They're going to qualify leads, and they're going to be the ones that pass those opportunities to the rest of the team to keep them off the phone and in front of clients like they should. They're going to deal with your lead communication at scale, meaning that they're going to be shooting hundreds of contacts a day out there. What do you look for in an ISA? The best ones are honestly going to be someone who's incredibly comfortable on the phone, does not have a problem with rejection, and is a great communicator, not only via text message, but also via email. They've got no problem starting a conversation with an absolute stranger. They don't meet one. Inside sales agents are incredibly comfortable with the word no. They understand that the rejection is in the mathematics. It is going to be a part of the job, and they should never be discouraged by negative outcomes. On the contrary, the best sales agent's going to see rejection as a step closer to the next positive outcome. You will never need to motivate these people. This is what they do. They understand that dialing is the dollars, and they're just going to get in there and burn it and churn it. Inside sales agents should ideally have a real estate license because they need to understand how to have the right conversations. They cannot actually discuss actual real estate specific topics to any client without that license in support. So make absolutely sure they have everything that they need to be successful. It wouldn't be a great messaging statement and a business opportunity for you if you didn't understand some of the critical mistakes that you could make. Again, I too have walked into plenty of traffic opportunities and hit a few buses in my day. So me being able to tell you what some of the critical mistakes are to help make you a better leader is a part of this conversation too. So now that you've got a better idea from me on how you're going to set your team up for success, the missteps that you need to be prepared for. First off, not embracing the platinum rule. You made it this far in life, you're very likely familiar with the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's another way of saying treat people the way you want to be treated. Maybe that's your first mistake. Everyone is different. Perhaps they want to be treated differently too, and great leaders embrace the platinum rule. This has been popularized, by the way, by author Michael O'Connor. Treat people they want to be treated is the book. You'll love it. But you also need to be able to commit knowing your people and knowing them well enough to understand exactly what that means to them. Whether you're going to apply the platinum rule to team members or to clients, you're going to start by asking a few great questions. How do you prefer that I communicate with you? How would you prefer to communicate with me? If changes are going to need to be made, how much notice do I need to give you before you can implement changes? And how do we deal as a partnership in any conflict that might arise? The platinum rule is understanding who you are and understanding who the person is at the other side of the camera, or hopefully face to face, that you are associating with in this situation. You need to know how to do business together. You need to understand how to communicate, and you need to understand and respect how they want to communicate. By not providing consistent guidance, directions, or accountability to each other, you're going to run into the second pitfall. Leaders often attain positions because they possess great instincts. They act quickly. They are decisive. They can take risks. They're not afraid to seek and achieve results. However, the best of the bunch also recognize that successful teams and businesses require those that are supportive, methodical, want clear instructions, have a deep desire to understand what's expected of them. In other words, they're not like you. If you're talking time and you want to share your vision, track and measure progress, and advise people as to what's needed, you need to be able to set desirable goals, not just business goals, but things people want to actually reach out and do. If you're expecting people to read your mind and you're not communicating with them, you're making assumptions, operating in a vacuum, and you're failing to understand something pretty simple. People in our industry, especially in real estate, join teams and organizations because they want to be part of something and they want to be led to success. If you intend to be a great leader in this industry, you've got to be successful. You have to be accessible. You have to be communicative. And the model of the high-minded behavior is what they're going to expect to see from you before they do it themselves. You need that 10-minute morning huddle, whether virtual or in person. It's going to allow you to set the tone to the goals for the day. We do these sessions every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We record them so that if people are busy with customers, they can also get to them. But for me to be able to motivate my crew and motivate the people that are leading in my organization, they're here, they're attentive, and they're a part of something greater than just today's sale. They're a part of a vision that's going to help them move forward and build positive instinct for how they're going to do business that day. This is their motivation sermon. This is their morning coffee. Accountability, it all starts with you. You've got to make time sacred, and you got to treat it like it's significant and give it the respect it deserves. No rescheduling. Because if you have something more important to do, this time with your team lost its priority, which means you've lost your vision. Next thing you want to be careful of is not helping your people develop to their full potential. If you want to start a team, you want to be a part of professional development. Most of the things that prevent leaders from doing this is that they will never admit it. But I know from experience they're thinking it, and what's holding them back is they don't want people to be more successful from them. They don't want to replace themselves, and then this person or this real estate agent or this team moves on to go somewhere else. And the polar opposite is exactly what you should be doing in leadership. It is okay for you to brand, bake, create something bigger than yourself. Something against a vision that you built, and someone found that they were so successful at it, they thought they could move off and do it by themselves. And you should be positive and supportive of that messaging to them whenever they make that choice. It is important to remember that this is not a feelings business. You're mentoring people that may shine brighter than you. You may groom them so well that they become your competition, and that's a mindset problem. You're dwelling in scarcity. Create an amazing team that provides positive growth and opportunity, and few will ever leave you. Or better, they want to go off on their own, but with your partnership and with your knowledge, or with you as a consultant for their business. If they do that, take some credit that they've gotten to this point and be proud of it. Your leadership is what allowed them to get to this point in the business where they could be confident in moving forward. Because remember, just yesterday, they couldn't fill out a contract without your help. Today, they're ready to open up their own company and deal with the hectic nature of what is real estate on a day-to-day basis as the owner and operator.